course, this means we also have to talk about Celtic art. So the Roman Empire left the region at this point. They had been in England. They never cross over into Ireland. And what we see again is that insular art, that monastic art of the Irish world. What we tend to see is pure embellishment of insular art. There's no illustration necessarily. Sometimes it's illustration or illumination without any text, without any attempt to illustrate what's actually being depicted. It's a beautiful image. And what we generally see are animals that are going to be stretched out and intertwined, as we see on that left, what's called a carpet page here in the Book of Durrow. These pages are meant to really break up the text. We would see one carpet page and then a saint depicted, or an image of the saint is depicted prior to their gospel. So here we see an eagle. Again, the evangelist depicted by oxen, eagle, man, and lion. So they're doing that. And you could imagine in an insular tradition where the speed at which you copy the book isn't as relevant as if you're having someone read it to you, so you don't have to keep up the pace. You could create something like this, and to them it creates something very vivid, speaking to their beliefs, their previous beliefs on the interconnectedness of life itself. So what we see in the Book of Durrow are these symbols. The man, a symbol of Matthew, the eagle of Mark, the ox of St. Luke, the lion of St. John. And it is very different from the Byzantine icons. There's no attempt to make them realistic. In fact, we see something that is arguably abstracted. It is anamorphic. It is stylized. We tend to see essentially four pigments: red, yellow, green, and blue, being used on a regular basis. A very similar aesthetic to Saxon metalwork in terms of style as well as form. Also very similar to engravings that we saw at New Grange. Now here with the Book of Durrow, we're seeing the first symbol of St. Matthew. There will be others. In fact, I will show you 4 of them in this chapter. What we're looking at is this very simple form. So it's a simple form of a man, surrounded by what we would typically call Celtic knotwork. If you're ever interested in Celtic knotwork, one of the best experts out there who teaches these forms from books is going to be George Bain, B-A-I-N, and definitely worth a look. But as we look at it, that frame is there to give us a sense of importance, give us a sense of setting this figure apart. And then the figure itself is abstracted. We can read it as a human. We all know that it's human, but yet there's no attempt to show the body. There's no attempt to create a sense of realism, mass, or volume in the piece, and that's not important to them. To them, this is going to be something that is going to help you concentrate on what you're about to experience when you read the book of Matthew. The frame around it has a sense of movement. It's dynamic, a sense of passion, the same passion that the evangelists would have had when they depicted or when they wrote these gospels as the word of God passes through them. So it is all symbolic of different things. It's just in a different style than what we might be used to. The importance here is that it is a different style, that this is not a lack of skill. The Irish are more than capable of creating realism, but they're choosing not to. And the framework around it can be used for several purposes as well. That knotwork acting almost as if it is a labyrinth, a labyrinth for your eyes to follow through and help in meditation. But we'll get into that more in a moment.